Hey, it's Rick. I'm back from Missing Stamps today, and we are going to be making a masculine-themed Valentine's card using some products from the new release that just came out. Let's get into it. So we're going to be using the Robot Life and Postmark stamp sets. I pulled these dies thinking I would use them, but I only used the Swank postage hearts, and I did use the need input stencil. We're going to start off with that. I cut 3 pieces of reddish pink cardstock, and I'm just going to ink blend on top of those using the need input stencil to help create some of the elements for my card. So this was my first step. I'm coming in with a medium pink ink over top of this medium pink paper, just cardstock from my stash, and I'm just ink blending over that, making sure to have some lighter and darker areas. I'm picking up ink off the side, and I'm just going to ink blend over that. I'll pull that back, and there's that one. Now we're going to switch to our lighter pink cardstock. I am going to shift and move the stencil around so I get different elements of each of the stencil, or of the stencil, onto my patterns. So I'm going to ink blend this lighter pink cardstock with a light pink ink. I'm just going over, letting some of it get lighter and darker and concentrating more on the other area. I did pick up the ink, darker pink ink on some of it, using just what was left on the brush and a little bit off the ink pad to add just a little bit darker pink areas. So we had some interest. Now I cleaned the stencil in between each time, and I'm shifting it over to the other side. This is the darkest color cardstock I used, and I came in with a reddish ink, more of a true red ink, to ink blend over the stencil for this area or section. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to cut out the inside hearts out of each one of these sections eventually, using the Swank postage heart die. So there's all 3 pieces. There's my other pieces. I'm going to cut out of those 2. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my little robot from the Robot Life stamp set onto this pink piece of cardstock. And I'm going to do just some very simple alcohol marker coloring on him. I don't have to get real fancy with this. I just picked 3 or 4 different grays and a couple of coordinating colors for the inside of the buttons. But I'm just going to come in and color the darkest areas first. And I pulled in the heart that I'm going to use for him to cut him out with. So I knew I didn't have to color the entire thing. I could only color what was going to show up on the die cut, which made it super quick and super easy. I just kind of marked it using the alcohol marker, so I knew what to do. I'm coming in with a lighter gray shade to blend that out, to blend the dark color out, and I'll come in with an even lighter shade to blend all that together. And I did leave a little open space for a 4th color. I came in with a warm gray. I'm using cool grays right now, or neutral grays. I came in with a warm gray. It was too warm, so I let that dry, and then I came back over it at the very end with a cooler gray, and it blended everything together really nicely. So don't be afraid to go back over your alcohol markers and get the look that you want. They do dry back, so you can glaze right over them. No big deal. So I'm going to come in and just add, that's me adding the cool gray back over that to blend that together. I did forget his little hand up there at the top, so I had to come back and color that at the end. But I'm just adding some additional colors in there, and just for his eyes and the parts of the robot's chest that has the little buttons. And I'm just checking to see if I wanted a little additional color. I decided I wanted more of a pinky color. I did cut out some of the lips from the Swank postage hearts, but I ended up not using them. But I went ahead and cut them out anyway. I saved them for another project later. So I'll use those on a different project. But now I'm going to go ahead and cut out the outside edge. I've went ahead and cut out all my hearts. And now I'm going to start layering the ones up. They're pretty easy to layer up. You kind of know exactly which ones fit in what by the size. I did get a little confused on some of the medium sized ones, like this one right here. I had to check it a couple times. But as you can tell, I just use the stencil patterns as part of the designs of the hearts. So I'm just kind of arranging these where I think I'm going to want them to begin with. I am going to switch it around a little bit. So I'm just going to attach my liquid glue. I'm going to put my bigger heart down in the center, put these side hearts right there. I'm letting it hang off of my 4x5¼ inch piece of cardstock, because I will end up cutting that down. So I'm going to add some solid hearts as well under there, because we're going to do a little stamping on those. shortly. But I'm just filling up any empty space with those solid color and the other stencil hearts without the outlines. That way it helped to draw interest into the card front. Now I'm going to take the postmark stamp set and I'm going to add the postmarks into my design. So I'm stamping across the hearts and I just went right over everything. I pulled in the hearts that I hadn't added yet and added some of those little postmarks to that. It also had the cent price for the stamp, so I added some at 10 cents. I think there's a 25 and a 50 cents, and there's a forever in there, and some of the other postmarks. So I just added those around each of the sections, and I did alternate and add in some of that same red ink that I used in the beginning. I'm going to add some more of the price sticker or price marks onto each of the little heart stamps. I added some additional hearts that was also from that same postmark stamp set onto some of our hearts, and I'm going to add some onto the card background as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to flip it over and cut off any excess that's hanging over my panel. I just took a long pair of scissors and cut those off, flipped it around, did all four sides, wham bam, there you go. Now for our focal hearts, after I add this to my top folding card base, I chose to do a craft color cardstock for the card base because I think it goes well with the pinks, and I just picked those three colors. I think a guy could easily get a pink card and be happy with it. I wear pink a lot, so I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Don't be afraid of using those for your masculine cards. So we're just going to add some foam tape, peel that off. I'm going to arrange this where I want it to go, overlapping some of the other hearts that are in the background. We're going to do our other two hearts as well. I do have an additional heart. I'm going to end up moving that one, by the way. I have some additional hearts that are additional heart I'm going to add to the inside of my card in a minute, and I will show you how I finish off the inside. So we're just going to switch that heart to the other side. I liked it better over there. Add in my other one, and then I'm going to stamp my sentiment on just a scrap piece of white cardstock. I chose to do the forever heart, and that way that's going to be my simple little sentiment. I'm going to cut a fishtail banner in the end. So we're just going to take and snip in the center, snip to this on the sides. I do have to fix that one little edge right there because I got off. So I got to decide where that's going to go. I ended up putting it up at the top, touch behind the hearts that are popped up just slightly. I still wanted that pink to show through the top layers. So this is where I decided I wasn't going to do the lips anymore. Now I'm just going to go and do the inside. I'm taking some 1-inch masking tape or mint tape, masking tape, any low tack tape, and I'm going to mask off a section at the bottom. I'm using the lines on my grid mat to mark that off. So I'm trying to keep it nice and straight. That's why I had to peel it up. And I did a 1/4 inch at the bottom. Now I'm going to lay my stencil on top. And I'm going to use those same three ink colors that we used in the beginning. And I'm going to do an ombre looking ink blend across the bottom. So I'm coming in with that light pink first and then the medium pink and just blending those two together, letting it get darker towards that lighter pink and blend together. And then I'll do the same thing with that red ink and just blend those together to that medium pink and just until it gets lighter. And peel that off and peel my masking tape off. It would be also cute to take a black pen and a ruler and define those lines. I took that inside heart, or the extra heart, and added to the inside right over my little postage or my little stencil design. I put that on the inside. And I'm going to come in and add some white gel pen highlights to my stamped images and some of the heart postage stamps as well. So we're just going to come around, add our little highlights with our white gel pen. Super easy to do. I did add some to each of some of the stamped hearts as well. So I'm just coming around just adding those white highlights anywhere I think that it would get a highlight hit. And then I'm going to finish them off by adding just a little bit of Stardust Stickles. I added to his eyes, to the hearts that I stamped, at least 7 of them. I did the 3 right there, the one at the top, his little buttons on his chest, and then a few of the other ones right there, and the ones down there. So there's a look at the card. Here's some closer look at the cards. If you like this video, you're probably going to like the one coming up after the photos, and I will see you guys in a couple weeks. Bye. Stay crafty.